Chairperson, Happy DeFranza. She highly recommends Mr. Chapman, who's a physician, resident in town for some time, and also sits on the one of the committees of the Museum of Fine Arts. So I would recommend Mr. Chapman to appointment on the Historic District Commission.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Delaney, seconded by Mr. Harris. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous? That takes care of appointments for tonight. On to budget presentations. We're going to follow the order that's on the agenda. Okay. First is treasurer collect. Which budget are we going to do first? Do the treasury first.
Okay.
I think it's 15. 15, yeah.
Yep. 15 and 16. Good. You're up.
Okay. As a treasurer, I'm responsible for the cash management and maintain all municipal funds and purposes, responsibility for the deposits and the investments and the disbursements of the money. I administrate the town resources and ensure availability of adequate liquid assets to pay obligations due to the town. All monies are accounted and balanced for with the accountant's office monthly, and we maintain a cash book which contains a breakdown of all receipts, disbursements, and cash balances. The cash book is currently contains 49 bank statements and 30 trust funds and scholarships accounts, which are balanced monthly. The cash book is updated daily, excuse me, and receipts are deposited and recorded. I play a role in municipal borrowing. Upon authorization, I prepared the sale and obtaining all necessary documents to satisfy legal requirements for the bond council. As treasurer, I receive accounting and disbursing of all payroll and deductions. Calendar year 2007, we disbursed over 700 W-2s for part-time, full-time and part-time employees. I did the taxes, sent it to the IRS, did our quarterly taxes, returns to both the Commonwealth and the IRS. And we keep track of all payroll records.
Okay.
Question?
I'm just looking at the summary sheet on the top page here. Under personal services in 2008, the actual expenditure was considerably less than what was budgeted in 2008 and also what's budgeted in 2009. And I don't recall what that's all about. What was that? And maybe you don't have the answer.
It could be because switching from the previous treasurer to...
There was a period of time.
Yes. Yeah, she was here part of the fiscal...
What?
She was at a higher rate than the current treasurer.
No, I'm looking at what was actually expended in FY 2008.
It's under the clerical line item is the big swing.
I'm just trying to...
Budget of 50,000 and spent 27,845.
Right. Just trying to understand what that dip was all about. I know it's...
The professional service...
Under clerical, there's a $22,000 swing from your actual expenditure to your revised budget in FY08.
Yes. Yes.
We had held off on filling the position in 2008 pending the budget discussions that were ongoing. As you'll recall, it was one of those positions that originally was filled. And until the board approved it, we had kept the position.
I just couldn't remember what the reason was for that.
treasurer position, you stop, did we start taking less out of this, and did we,
That would be on the
we weren't,
collector's.
we weren't taking you out of clerical anymore?
No.
So that's why this
Oh, I see.
is higher.
Okay. Yeah, and we didn't backfill the position.
Right.
Right, it was vacant for like
Yeah.
6 months.
Okay. So the question, I guess that leads into the question I have associated with the 2009 budget, which was put the money back. Do we plan on using all of that, or?
When we did the budget, with people moving up and hiring the new person,
Okay,
I
so we
believe it
brought the
went-
new person in.
yes, yes.
Came in June.
Yeah,
We got a full year of the
yeah,
salary.
Right,
well,
for
I mean,
2009.
yeah,
Correct.
for the fiscal year, of which we're halfway through.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Just Mary, another, professional services, the proposed 3% below FY09, talking about 1,677, and your explanation as far as the negative impact is ability to pursue tax title and land court will be limited. In what fashion? How will we, what do you mean limited?
If you take the 3% out, we probably wouldn't be able to do a tax title this year. Because,
How are the money's expended? Is that through the sheriff?
no, we have a tax title attorney that goes in and researches all the properties.
Capola?
Yeah, Jim Capola. And so we have to pay his fees, and part of his fees would be coming out of professional services. So we wouldn't be able to do a take-in.
That would be rather counterproductive, though. In other words, if we have to do a taking, it would just forestall our ability to take possession, liquidate, so it would interrupt our cash flow, so to speak.
Potential cash flow.
Yeah.
That's such a-
I did, the reason I took it out of professional services is so I wouldn't have to cut into salaries. And cut back one of my clerical workers.
So again, obviously, this, Mr. Chair, might be one of those areas where this particular department might be held harmless, because obviously it'd be counterintuitive to.
Well, clearly, I mean, one thing we've learned is in the process of pursuing tax title, right, we've managed to get people to pay back taxes. I mean, that's been successful for several situations that's been reported back to the board. And in this particular situation that we have, where our tax liens have grown over the past 4 years, and in fact, we've projected into this year that they're gonna grow more, I can't see us cutting back in that area. I'd like to be more aggressive in that area if it leads to collecting some of these back taxes. Meaning, in the process of pursuing it, the people, got the message and found a way of paying the taxes, rather than, let it go all the way through a tax time. So, I think we need to maintain, in this current environment, more activity in that area rather than less.
That was my next question, is that we anticipating, kind of a rhetorical question, so we must be anticipating an uptick in activity in this particular area, so therefore, should we be looking at closer to what you actually expended in fiscal year '08? Where are we at right now in that line item in fiscal year '09? We have a $10,000 appropriation. Do you know where you are right now?
I believe, between my treasurers and collectors, it's, because I combine them, I believe I almost spent everything in that budget right now, and we haven't actually done our 2008 tax titles. As of today, there was still 103 accounts that are still delinquent.
And I think at an earlier meeting a couple of months ago, in the last couple of months, we actually asked you to step up
Yes,
activity
I did.
level. Because you've been holding off about 6 months to give people a chance to pick up their activity and paying, and we actually said, just stick to the statute and
Well, I can't do I was still in the process of doing 2008, but you have to send out your your demand letters, which we did do in May, but then we sent out another letter in October, and then we just sent out the advertising letter that is due the 15th of February. And once that's done, then Jim Capola, on the 16th, we're gonna send it to Jim, and he's gonna start doing his title search, and then it's gonna get advertised in March, and we'll take it in April.
So I guess the point is that this is a particular line item that you need to actually be adding to, because you're gonna run short this year right now. It appears as though, should say, maybe go to the finance committee for, Joe, maybe answer to, and would you be anticipating going to the finance committee looking for a transfer of funds in order to augment this particular budget to finish out the year? Right.
We are going to
We are-
continue to
yes,
pursue
we are
aggressive
going to-
collections.
Right, all right, so, so in this particular line item, we should be putting in a realistic figure as to what's gonna be needed in order to maintain our collection efforts.
Okay.
So, Greg, you're gonna have to find another spot somewhere to balance your budget, I would think.
Marion, the 103 accounts that are delinquent, what's the dollar value associated with that?
I believe it was over $200,000. The list that I'd given you prior.
It was 354, when we got it at the end of the fiscal year, so, I mean, some people have obviously paid.
Yes, yes. And they do have until the 12th to pay, and a lot of people will pay on, they do wait until the last minute to pay. Once it gets advertised, they can still pay it off once it's advertised before it goes in the tax title. They get the embarrassment of it being in paper, and most people do come in and pay. So, I think last year we had, 50 that actually got advertised, I believe. So it was quite a few.
And it's bound to get worse in 2010, so that's the concern.
Does Attorney Capola charge us a flat rate for doing the tax title, or does he do an hourly?
It's an hourly,
It's an hourly
depending on, he breaks it out by parcel.
And at what point in time do you engage him? When does he get involved?
He will receive all the documentation right after February, right after the bills are due. We'll give him a list of all the outstanding with the map and parcels and everything, and then they go into the registry, and he researches it to make sure all the names are correct, and it's a clear deed and all that. We have the proper owner.
So, looks like you might be getting an increase.
Any other questions regarding the treasurer's budget? Let's move on to the collector's budget.
Marion, so it was the 10,000 and the 9,500 is what you budgeted between the treasurer and the collector's office for tax title stuff? Is that from interpreting what you said earlier?
Yes, and the 2,500 too, for the professional services.
Computer?
Yeah. Yes, excuse me, sorry.
And so you've pretty much exhausted that already.
Yeah, every account that's in tax title right now, Jim Capola has researched for foreclosure, so the residents have already gotten notified from Jim Capola that we're in the process of foreclosing on the property. So, that's why the budget is so high right now, is because we're hitting every single account, he's going through every single account that's in tax title and putting it into land court, so we can start the foreclosure.
Okay, on the collection budget, any questions on the collector?
Same issue here,